It's a special call joint public safety committee meeting. Today is August the 13th. The time is 1:07. If there is not any objections to the minutes are not ready for the meeting. Any corrections to the minutes from previous meeting?
I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Sergeant Knight, call the first item for me, please.
Yes, the first item is Titusville Grocery Store LLC.
Okay, would the applicant come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please? Seeing no one,
I move for a 2-week delay.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item has been seconded by myself and moved for a 2-week delay by Councilor Moore because the applicant is not present. Sergeant Knight, can you call for the next item, please?
Yes, Ms. Chairperson, are we skipping number 2? It's been withdrawn. Mo's
Yes.
One Stop, okay. We're going to Blazers GFSFC LLC.
Okay, is the applicant here? Come to the podium, sir. State your name and address for the record, please. Yes. Hit that little button right there and turn the mic on, right in front of you, okay?
My name is Kyler, Cyler Coleman, and my address 2201 Second Avenue South, here in Birmingham, 35233.
Okay, and this is a new application? And can you tell us something about the business that you're doing? This is Gus World's Famous Chicken, Fried Chicken?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay. And so the applicant presented to the Southside neighborhood on July the 11th. One was in attendance and one supported. So this is a new application, so Sergeant Knight, I'm not gonna assume anything that, no incidents at this location.
Yes, we had no discrepancies.
Okay. And Ms. Brown, are they good with taxes and revenue?
Yes, they're good with taxes and revenue. They're in good standing.
Okay. Is anyone here to speak for or against the item?
I'm Paul Godby, President of Southside Neighborhood Association. Mr. Coleman came to our meeting, and unfortunately, due to low attendance, I approved it, and so we're glad to have him here.
Okay. And Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning requirements?
Property is zoned M1 light industrial, and it does meet zoning requirements.
Okay. Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
Yes, I do. When did you receive your business license?
We've just changed franchise ownerships. The exact date, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, do we know?
I don't know the exact date, but they're in good standing with taxes and license.
Gotcha. Okay, Madam Chair, I move for approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That item passes. The council committee, Public Safety Committee, will send it to the full council for a vote. Thank you. Thank you. Sergeant Knight, can you call the next item for me, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, Center Street Food Mart, number 6, Second Avenue North, Peter Kerr.
Okay, is the applicant here? And this is an application for a beer off premises and wine off premises. This is a new application. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Peter Kitor, 6 Second Avenue North, Center Street Brothers Food Mart LLC.
Okay. The applicant met with the neighborhood on, Smithfield neighborhood on September the 17th. July the 17th. And 6 were in attendance and 6 supported. Sergeant Knight, is there any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Okay, and Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Zone M1 and they do meet zoning requirements.
Ms. Brown, are they in good standings with taxes and revenue?
At this time, they're in good standing.
Okay, is anyone here from the neighborhood to speak or for or against this item? Council Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
No, I do not. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that item passes the council agenda, and my staff will be in touch with you when you need to come to the council meeting for the full council to vote on it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant Knight, can you call the next item for us, please?
Madam Chair, the next item is One Stop Gas, 36 South Park Road Southwest. Waleed Al Awadai. Awadai, my fault.
This is a new transfer application for a beer off premises and wine off premises. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Waleed Al Awadi,
And your address, please?
36 South Park Road, Southwest, Birmingham.
Okay. All right, Sergeant Knight, is any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Zone I1 and he does meet zoning requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown, is the applicant in good standing with taxes and revenue?
Madam Chair, the applicant is in good standing.
Okay, the applicant met with the Central Park neighborhood on July the 11th. 7 were in attendance and 7 support. And they said the conditions, the owner agreed to provide security camera signs, no loitering, no soliciting, provide dumpster cleaning property, residents request in-person security due to high crime area. And that was a request by the Central Park community.
Yes.
Okay. Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
How long have you been in business over here? I said, how long have you been in business?
Birmingham
Yes, sir.
is my first time.
This is your first time?
For me, personal.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that item passes the Public Safety Committee, and we'll be in touch with you when you go to the council for a full vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant Knight, can you call the next item for us, please?
Madam Chair, that will be AM Food Store, 1800 31st Street Southwest. Nabil Sharari.
Okay, applicant, can you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record? And this is a beer off premises, wine off premises, and also a transfer application.
My name is Nabil Shari, 1800 31st Street Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama, 35221.
Okay, Sergeant Knight, any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Property is zone C2 and it does meet zoning requirements.
Okay, Ms. Brown, are they in good standing with taxes and revenue?
Madam Chair, they are in good standing with taxes and revenue.
Okay, the applicant met with the Johns Valley neighborhood on June the 7th, 11 support, 1 no recommendation. Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
So it says name, trade name and license number of last or previous licensee was Munchies? Munchie Chevrolet? Okay. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, sir, that item passes the Public Safety Committee, and we will be in touch to let you know when it goes to the council agenda for a full vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, Sergeant Knight.
Madam Chair, that's going to be Sarah LLC, 1301 Center Point Parkway, Jerome Fields.
Okay, can the applicant state their name and address for the record, please?
Hello, my name is Jerome Fields, and I'm at 1301 Center Point Parkway, Suite 103.
Suite 103, tell us about Sarah's LLC.
Yes, ma'am, there's a vet center. It's a vet center.
Okay. All right. Sergeant Knight, any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, did the applicant meet zoning?
Zone C2, and it does meet zoning requirements.
Okay, Ms. Brown, are they in good standing with taxes and revenue?
Madam Chair, they are in good standing with taxes and revenue.
And when you say you're an event center, what type of events are you guys putting on there?
Adult birthday parties, anniversary weddings, baby showers.
Okay, and what's the hours of operation?
It'll be based upon a signed contract for events.
What's the normal hours when you do have a signed contract? What are the normal rental hours that someone rents your place for?
Well, it will depend, but it'll be no parties past midnight.
Okay. Okay, so I did see your public safety plan in here. Seems to have a solid plan. Councilman, do you have questions for the applicant?
Not necessarily for the applicant. I guess this would go to the officers. In terms of our safety plan, I wanted to just make sure that we were clear, or I was clear on exactly what they needed to make mention of or account for in their safety plan.
I had a chance to review her safety plan. It was thorough enough based on what she's going to have. It was adequate. She's going to have off-duty sheriff or police on duty at the time she had an event. The layout of the place was laid out. It was an adequate safety plan. I mean, based on her location, I thought her safety plan was real detailed, and she had everything she needed in that safety plan.
Got you. So I see that she's made, mention of cameras, security officers, staff training, and it looks like, would this be a plan for if a fire ever took place, like an exit strategy?
Oh, yes, sir, we'll train our employees if there's, in case of fire, to break out.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Only thing I would like to see is the actual times to be put in the safety plan, under this section that you have that says hours. But yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty solid. I move for approval.
And one mention, and I second that, but I do want to put this on the record that you did meet with the Spring Lake neighborhood on August the 1st, 2024. 21 was in attendance and 18 supported. But if you can send me an updated safety plan with your hours of operation when you lease the building out, no parties past midnight,
Okay.
that would be adequate. And thank you, Sergeant Knight, for the update. Okay, we second, all in favor? All right, that item passes the council, Public Safety Committee, and we will have my staff reach out to you for, when it comes to, council for a full vote.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Special events, True Lunar Catering Corporation.
Hello, I'm Sarah Walker, and the event is 1200 10th Avenue South, UAB Alice Stevens Center.
Okay, and this is your Arts, 2024 Arts Block Party. Could you tell the committee something about your event? This is something you guys do every year, correct? Okay, tell us about it.
It's UAB, Alice Stevens and Art Play are doing there's gonna be a whole street blocked off with art vendors and music performances for like the kids and stuff.
Okay, and what time is the event?
I'm sorry?
What time is the event?
It's 4:30 to 10.
4:30 to 10, okay, and this is for special retail liquor less
Yes, ma'am.
than 7 days? Okay, do you have questions for the applicant, Councilor Moore?
Yes, is this an annual event that you all do?
So they do an outside kind of block party every year. This one's a little different because it's the arts block party. They'd have a different theme every year, but they do it almost every year.
And about how many people, if you had to estimate, usually show up for?
400, 500, depending on the weather.
Gotcha,
Usually it's a little less than that though.
gotcha. Okay,
Mostly families.
gotcha. And state those times for me again?
I think it's 4:30 to 10.
4:30 to 10. Okay. All right. Council, I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the agenda, and we'll be in touch and let you know when it goes to the full council for a vote.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go back to Sergeant, can you call, number 1 back? I've learned that he was here trying to find a part. Item, the number 1. Yeah, Titusville Grocery.
Yes, Titusville Grocery, number 12, First Avenue Southwest, Carlos Najee.
Okay, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
12 First Avenue Southwest, Kahari Mihtar.
I gotta recall the item.
Recall the item, thank you.
So I move to recall item number 1, since we, previously put a 2-week delay on it.
On item 1? Okay. Could you state your name and address for the record?
12 First Avenue Southwest,
You got a second?
Kahari Mihtar.
You got a second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. State your name and address for the record.
12 First Avenue Southwest, Kahari Mihtar.
Okay, this is a new application, beer off premises, wine off premises. Hang on for 1 second. Transfer application, sorry. Beer off premises, wine off premises. Sergeant Knight, any, incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Zone C1, he does meet zoning requirements.
Ms. Brown, are they in good standing with taxes and revenue?
Madam Chair, they are in good standing with taxes and revenue.
Okay, the applicant met with the North Titusville Neighborhood Association on June the 5th. 1 opposed and 15 support. Do you have questions for the applicant, Councilor Moore?
I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the committee, and we will be in touch to let you know when it goes to the full council for a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, Sergeant Knight, will be item number 9.
Yes, Madam Chair, that's going to be Taste of 4th Avenue Jazz Festival, 4th Avenue North to 16th Street North, 18th Street North to 17th Street North, from 3rd Avenue North to 5th Avenue North. Carla Youngblood.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Youngblood.
Good afternoon, Ms. C. How are you and everybody?
Could you tell us, we know this is something that Urban Impact does every year, just kind of enlighten us once again on this event.
Okay, we'll be hosting our 21st annual Taste of 4th Avenue Jazz Festival. It will be held on August 24th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's a family fun event with music, entertainment for the kids, and full of vendors, food, and merchandise for everyone to come out and enjoy. It's open to the public and it's free.
And what time does it start? On what day does it start and what time?
August 24th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. All right, Councilor Moore, you have questions for Ms. Youngblood?
No questions. I've had an opportunity to come out to this event before, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I look forward to see all y'all there. Just take a moment to come by and at least hear one band. You can't stay the whole day.
Gotcha. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes, Ms. Youngblood. We'll be in contact with you when we go to the council for a vote.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Sergeant Knight, next item, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, that's going to be Birmingham Art Walk, 20th Street North from 1st Avenue North to 5th Avenue North. Denise Coach.
All right, Ms. Coach, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm actually here for Denise. My name's Emily Haslett.
And address?
213 Richard Arrington Boulevard, Junior South.
All right, can you tell us something about this event?
So this is the 22nd year of Art Walk. So we are hosting it downtown on 20th Street North between First Avenue and Fifth Avenue North. So we have 4 blocks of artists, food, kids' activities.
Okay. And what time does the event start?
So the event is September 6th and 7th, 2 days. So on the 6th, it's from 5 to 10, and then on the 7th, it's from 10 to 6.
Okay. All right, Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
No questions, Madam Chair. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the,
Thank you.
Public
One thing
safety
Denise did ask me to make sure is that it says Birmingham Art Walk, Inc. Because we noticed back in the agenda that said Birmingham Art Walk.
okay, we have it on here, Birmingham Art Walk.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right.
Have a
thank
good
you.
one.
All right, you too. Next item, Sergeant Knight.
Yes, Madam Chair, that's gonna be Fiesta, 17 20th Street North, Joe O'Brien.
All righty, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, ma'am. Joe O'Brien, 355 Highway 361, Pelham.
And this is for a special retail liquor, 7 days or less, and this is a new application. Can you tell the committee about the Fiesta?
Correct.
Can you tell us something about the event?
Yeah, this is I believe the 22nd year. It's an annual event held right across the street in Linden Park, celebrating Hispanic heritage, music, food vendors, art vendors.
Okay, and what time will the event take place? And
It is from noon until 8.
okay. Okay, Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
Yeah, just curious, how many vendors do you all expect to have?
I am not in charge of the vendors,
Right.
but the entire park is full. I would guess there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 to 100.
Cool.
And it's
Okay.
a variety of like art vendors, and Rubio Law Firm has a booth there. The Jefferson County Department of Health has a booth there. It's a wide variety of vendors.
Got you. Okay. I've heard about this event. I'm ashamed to say I've never actually come to it, but I've heard a lot about just the amount of people that come out to it and how much fun folks have.
Yeah, it's a good family event, and I'm told there's 10,000 people throughout the day that come through there, so it's a big event.
Awesome. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
All right.
All right, that item passes. The Public Safety Committee will send it to the full council for a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, you got the
I've got the
next.
You
next
got the
one as
next
well.
item, okay. The next item is Sergeant Knight.
Yes, Madam Chair, Food and Cultural Festival, 29th Street South between 2nd Avenue South and 3rd Avenue South, Joe O'Brien.
All right, special retail liquor, 7 days or less, and Mr. O'Brien, tell us about this event, the date and time.
This event is on the 20th. It's a Friday night, and it'll go from 6 until 10. It's in Pepper Place, and it's a sit-down meal celebrating food and culture, food and heritage. And it's part of, I believe it's part of Restaurant Week, but there's events going on at Sloss on Saturday and Sunday as well
Okay.
that I'm involved with, and I'm sure there's several other events that they're getting done without my help.
All right, Councilor Moore, you have questions for the
I
applicant?
do. So with the cultural festival, is it multiple different cultures that are represented at this event?
At this particular part of the event, they pick a culture, and then the food, they pair food from that culture. They'll have an appetizer, several different courses to the meal.
Got you. Okay. And reason I ask is I used to live in Mobile, Alabama. In 4th grade, at the convention center, they used to have like this big international food festival where they would have all of these different nations and cultures, and they would have food, and artwork and music, all kinds of stuff from those different cultures set up at different booths. And I've always thought that would be something cool to expose, young people to here in the city of Birmingham, especially after, we just had the World Games here.
Right.
A lot of kids didn't get a chance to actually go to, be a part of those types of events. And so, looking for a partner to be able to, actualize that idea. But I think this is really cool. So, I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the council, the Public Safety Committee, city to the full council for a vote. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. All right, ordinance and resolution. So number 13 is a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1 subsection -38-2.9 of the Code of Alabama 1975 to authorize to expend funds and execute agreement for the 2024 Magic City Toy Drive. The mayor is authorized to solicit generically donations and participation of citizens and local vendors through such means as billboards, radio ads, or other indirect means. The city is authorized to receive and distribute donations of toys and other items to provide for the care and emotional support of poor and needy children residing within the city during the 2024 holiday seasons. Expenditure of city funds for the Magic City Toy Drive shall be in accordance with the Birmingham General City Code subsection 3-1-7 and shall not exceed $10,000. Funding source GL 00106101,000524040. Supplies other than small equipment. Who do I have before me? State your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Tracy Bennett. I serve as the Deputy Director for the Department of Youth Services.
Okay, can you tell us about this event?
Yes, this is an annual event between the Department of Youth Services, Fire and Rescue, and Birmingham Police Department, where we assist Birmingham youth with new and unwrapped toys for those who live in low to moderately low income households, shelters, and residential living facilities.
Okay, and when is the event?
We will begin taking donations on, I believe it's about November 1st.
Okay. So you'll take donations, and when does the actual event kick off?
It is, the toys are donated to the families that have been accepted. They register and they're accepted, and it will be in early December.
Okay.
The exact date has not been determined just yet.
Okay. Councilor Moore, do you have questions?
Yes, I do. So with the toy drive, are there certain things that you all are looking for, or is there certain things that y'all like, you know what, we appreciate your donation, but keep that at home?
Yes.
Yeah, what's the criteria, I guess?
Well, we accept anything new and unwrapped. However, the greatest need is for those who are ages 8 through 10 years old. Those are the preteens, and they get to be a little bit more picky.
Right.
Bicycles, sports gear, educational books, games, puzzles, things of that nature.
Got you. And you said you all will begin taking donations in November 1st?
November 1st.
And is there specific locations that they, need to bring it to?
There will be donation boxes set up around City Hall, all fire stations, I think all 4 police stations, the Department of Youth Services, and local AmFirst credit unions.
And then, I guess, how do people go about, applying to receive said toys?
They need to stay in touch with the Department of Youth Services. We will execute a e-lease, so it'll be an email to our virtual network. We'll also come before you all at City Council to announce when that date will take place. They'll register online, and then they will come to our offices to show that they have the need.
Okay, cool. And I just wanted to say a big shout out to everybody behind you. I see my captain back there. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
All right.
All right, that item passes to Councilor G. Hey, Chief Moon, how are y'all doing? And we'll send it to the full council for a vote. Next item is ordinance number 14. So it is a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute an amendment number 1 to a 3-year vendor agreement entered on January 29, 2024 pursuant to subsection 11-40-1 and subsection -11-43-55 of Code of Alabama 1975 with Live View Technologies to provide the Birmingham Police Department with 2 D3 live units for the total of $207,480.24. This amendment, number one, adds 3 additional D3 live units to the city, which includes but is not limited to 2 subscriptions, smarter generation, 2 mobile mount solar generation setup for shipping for additional costs of $250,705.29. The mayor is further authorized to spend up to $10,000 per year to cover the relocation and data expenses. The total amount to be expended shall not exceed $488,185.53. Said funds to come from GL number 001-04326-001-5207-0050 for professional services. And who do I have the pleasure to have before me today?
Good afternoon, Deputy Chief Malden. I serve as the Deputy Chief of Office of Administration, Birmingham Police Department.
Okay, Deputy Chief Malden, could you tell us about this agreement?
Yes, ma'am. It's an amendment for a current agreement that we have with our vendors for our trailer cameras that we've been deploying throughout the city. We've seen pretty good results. So we're able to move these trailer cameras, which is different from our pole cameras. They're mobile. We utilize our staff to move them from place to place. We currently have 2 that's existing. We want to add to that platform and our infrastructure to add 3 additional cameras.
Okay, so would that be like what you see downtown, the white,
The white cameras
yes.
that you can move from place to place,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Councilor Moore, do you have questions for Deputy Malden?
Yeah,
Chief
and
Malden?
just so I'm clear, it's the one with the pole, the light at the top, and the fat base, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Got you. Okay. Nah, I don't really have any questions. I'm glad that we're getting some more and adding to it so that we'll actually have a little bit more visibility around the city. So, yeah, I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
All right.
All right, that item passes, Deputy
Thank
Chief
you.
Malden.
And congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next item is Resolution 15, and it is an ordinance pursuant to Alabama Act 1969-96, authorizing the mayor to execute an interlock corporation agreement between the City of Birmingham, the United States Office for the District of Columbia, and the Metropolitan Police Department of Washington, D.C. for the City of Birmingham to provide up to 40 ununiformed Birmingham police officers to be sworn in as Deputy U.S. Marshals for the President Inauguration Task Force in the Washington, D.C. area from January the 17th, 2025 to January the 21st, 2025. All right, Deputy Chief, can you tell us something about this item?
Yes, this opportunity allows us to go down to Washington, D.C. for the 2025 presidential election, where we'll be sending 40 officers down to participate on the inauguration task force. So that provides us an opportunity to participate and represent the City of Birmingham from Birmingham Police Department.
Okay. Councilor Moore, do you have questions?
I guess, how did you all go about choosing these officers?
Well, this has been something that's been occurring for several years, which we participated in previous years up until 2020, the COVID year. So we're just resuming those efforts to assist on a national level.
Got you. No, I think it's an awesome opportunity. So I'll move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
All right.
All right, next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an interlock corporation agreement pursuant to 1969-916 of the Acts of Alabama between the City of Birmingham Board of Education for sharing of strategic videos accessed by the board, including school surveillance cameras located in public areas with the Birmingham Police Department. The term of the agreement shall not exceed 3 years. Can you tell us about that?
Right, so we're partnering with the City of Birmingham City Schools. We want to make sure that we're providing an extra layer of security in reference to our schools. So this will allow us, with our real-time crime center, in the case they have an incident at that location, where we can tap into their cameras. And as our officers are deployed in those areas, we can have a second level of security and provide them with information as they respond.
Okay, Councilor Moore, do you have questions?
It only makes sense. trying to figure out why we hadn't already did this, but, I'm glad that we're doing it now. So, I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes the council agenda. Thank you, Deputy Chief Martin. We will send it to the full council for a vote. Thank you, Attorney Roberts.
Thank you.
All right. Any old business and new business? So new businesses, we have item number 17, Quest Club. And we are Quest Club.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Richard Mock. I'm the attorney for the Quest. Unfortunately, the owner tested positive for COVID this morning, so he is not here, but the day manager, David Mason, is here for any questions you may have.
Okay.
First, I'm sorry.
Okay, but let me say that we are here today for the revocation of Quest, and we have received inquiries and concerns regarding this location. So that's, why you all are here today.
Thank you, ma'am. First, I'd like to thank the members of the Public Service Committee for allowing us this opportunity to be here and address any concerns you may have. My name is Richard Mock. I'm the attorney for the Quest Club, which is located on Birmingham's South Side. As I've said, Dan Sparks, the owner, came down with tested positive with COVID today and is not with us, but the day manager, David Mason, is here. Let me begin by saying this, that the Quest Club has been an Alabama corporation since 1982 and has been in the same location on South Side for over 40 years. It is the oldest LGBTQ club in the city and probably in the state. The club's clientele, it's one of the few 24/7 nightclubs in the city. The club's clientele consists and includes bartenders, waiters, and others in the service field that when they get off work at 2 o'clock in the morning and everything else is closed, they come to the Quest. Others, such as doctors, nurses, and health technicians, when they leave their shift at 7 a.m., they come to the Quest. You can go by there any time of the day, and there will be people in the parking lot enjoying the South Side and the city. The Quest Club is an important resource for the city of Birmingham. Last year, the Quest paid over $83,000 in sales taxes, and so far this year has paid over $43,000 in taxes. The club is an integral part of the LGBTQ community. The club always contributes to Pride Week in June every year and hosts important events in the Apollo and Carados cruise. Finally, the Quest is a Safeway club where abused women and or teens can call when they need help. The club and its members help them find the social services they need, whether it be food, protection, shelter, or medication. We are aware of the serious ramifications of the incidents that have happened lately at the club. And in June, we have taken a review of ourselves and our procedures and our personnel and have put together a revised safety protocol that I believe you have in your packet, if I'm not mistaken.
Attorney Mock, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm
Okay,
going to.
yes, ma'am.
Call up the Birmingham Police Department, since I want to hear from BPD, to come forward to the committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sergeant Knight. I'm over at Business Compliance, and I respect the Quest Club has been around for a long time. I respect that, and but the data that we have, there have been numerous incidents in the past. Well, the past year we've had 109 calls, but we're going to go back 6 months. It's been 44 calls for service at this business, ranging from assaults, weapon violations, fights, 12 fights. Signal 99 is 12 of those calls, which are calls that the police responded, but when they got there, nothing was going on. Sometimes people leave, but that's a lot of response time, a lot of calls to a place. Back in May, we had a homicide there. I saw the video camera, and I met Mr. Mason. At that time, we talked about it, and what I saw was a real safety, no safety plan in place at that time. People were coming in and going, not being screened. The two gentlemen walked in that actually got into a shootout inside. They walked in, nobody screened them. One had a backpack on, and they sat at a table, and within probably a minute, they were fighting, and all of a sudden they pulled out guns and shot each other, so. It was pretty brutal, and to me, for a place to be in business that long, I thought that was kind of very poor security measure that those guys walked in like that and did that. 44 calls for service in the last 6 months, that's a lot for a business. What that means is that police are being pulled from residential neighborhoods and other patrol areas to come respond to a business that we expect our businesses to kind of have their stuff in order. I know things are going to happen, but as long as they've been in business, I was shocked at the amount of calls that we've actually answered there. And these are calls that result in arrest. I mean, you're talking about fights, weapons violations, and to us, that's like a public nuisance when police have to respond to a business that often on calls. That's not good to the public. It's not safe. From what I saw, I walked around the location when I went there back in May. I saw numerous entry points where people could just walk in, doors that were just not monitored, I guess during business hours where people can just let people in. It was just really, the building itself needed to be really tightened up on just entrance and exit. It was too much places you can get in that building without anyone seeing you. So I just think that from what I saw in May, I know they mentioned they had a revised safety plan, but to me, we weren't notified. Basically, when that was done, we should have been notified to come back and take a look at it. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what it contains. But at that time in May, when I went by there, the safety plan was it was very inadequate. Which that safety plan in place is a result of these kind of calls we have for service, stuff like this. These are repeated calls, so what that means is that the clients there are doing this on a repeated basis. This is continuous calls, so. I just think that need to be looked at for people's safety. Haven't looked at their new safety plan. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I haven't seen it yet to look at it and see. But from what I got, the data that we have, it needs a lot of work there, a lot of work. Would you like to say anything? That's all I have right now. The data speaks for itself. It's just a lot of calls for service, and they're just not. There are calls that require police to be there for a while, So, we have a couple of homicides there last few years. We had a police distress call put out. We had an officer injured. The officer was shot in the foot, I believe. So it's been a lot going on there. And I just think that based on what I saw in May, we got a real problem at Club Quest.
Thank you, Sergeant Knight. Councilor Moore, you have a question?
So, Sergeant Knight touched on the security that he saw in the exits and entrances that people were able to leave doors ajar. Our issue is they have several trespassing, loitering calls, or they've trespassed a couple of repeat offenders, but they still find a way to come back. So we've seen a couple of records that show a consistency with probably the same person a couple of times. And what we see with these assaults and these fights is that security, number one, having one security guard in a place that's 24 hours and only having off-duty officers on the weekend seemingly is not helping. So again, we haven't seen their new safety plan, but what goes on in the 24 hours that's there, it seems to be repeat offenders that they are still allowing to come into their establishment.
Okay. So the entry points are poor entry points. I'm just taking notes. Poor entry points for people to enter into the place, okay? Councilman Moore, you have questions for Sergeant Knight or Ms. King?
Yes, I do, Sergeant Knight.
And I didn't get that, we didn't get that updated safety plan with Sergeant Knight.
So, thank you for coming back. So I know that Attorney Mock, you gave a lot of numbers about Quest in terms of how many taxes or how much taxes the city receives from the business. However, the number that I have not heard is the amount of homicides.
Right.
How many homicides?
Okay, we got one dated back May 24th where there were 2 individuals. I mentioned that earlier. We had September 5th where I had a homicide. That's 3, and we had an officer injured back in 21. So that's 3 in the last 3 years.
So 3 homicides in
Yes.
the last 3 years?
On that property, yes.
Got you. And one officer?
One officer injured, yes. He was
Gotcha.
shot, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Knight. Attorney Mock?
Yes, Counselor.
Yes, sir. Is there anything that you would like to say in response to that?
Yes, sir, it would be. And Sergeant, again, I apologize for not getting you the revised plan. I was not told to do that. Since June, and I believe the last homicide happened in May, with 2 individuals that got around our security. I personally went in there in June. That's when we put this plan together and addressed all the as many concerns as Sergeant Knight's mentioned. We eliminated an exit based on what the fire marshal allowed us to do. We have put in the strike alarms on all the exit doors so that if you open it from the inside, an alarm will now sound. That was not done in May. After implementing this protocol in June, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we've terminated 9 employees for failing to follow this new protocol. And this is since June of this year. So we are aware of our shortcomings and have done a lot to address those. We have installed, we had 11 cameras on premises in May. We now have 32 that we can see any and every exit and entrance and around the perimeters of the building. And management can also view these from remotely. So we are very, very concerned about the safety of citizens of Birmingham. We want to be a good neighbor, and we want to make a positive impact on this community.
So you say you want to make a positive impact, but when I say that 3 people have been killed in the last 3 years, and you tell me that you've fired 9 people, for me, I don't feel like that's enough. I don't feel like that's enough. We've just been told how this space has served as a public nuisance because of the amount of calls that we get about Quest, right? We have officers that are having to be pulled off of their beat in residential spaces to be brought to this business to monitor the activities that are supposed to be, or monitor the activity that is happening here. Again, we've had 3 people that were killed and
Yes,
one
yes, sir.
officer that was shot.
Yes, sir, we are very aware of that, and we're deeply concerned about that. Our staff, what's left of our staff is very upset with all this. They don't want the club to be closed. That's how they make their livelihood. And if the council would allow us, we would like to sit down with Sergeant Knight and go over our plan with him, let him inspect the premises again, and then maybe we'll have a better resolution of these issues.
You got it, Madam Chair.
Attorney Mark, I took notes. 44 calls were served in the last 6 months. 3 homicides, 1 officer shot in the foot, several trespass, repeat offenders are still able to come back in the club. You said now you have 11 cameras terminated 9 employees, fights, weapons violation, poor entry points, assaults. And I have to agree with my colleague. This is behavior, for somebody to have been in business for so long, it's just unimaginable. You have families that have lost loved ones, and how do we tell people that have lost loved ones that an establishment wants to stand before the Public Safety Committee and justify all of the things that have been done incorrectly here? I would think that as long as the Quest has been in business, that you guys would have had tighter security than what you have. The number of service calls would probably have been less if people, it just appears to me that, the people were not, doing their jobs. And, where we are in this country today with violence and stressing out, officers answering calls that probably should have never taken place. I'm like my colleague. I don't see any rhyme or reason. How do you justify, 3 homicides, inside of the club, 1 officer, shot in the foot, constant fights, weapons violations, poor entry points, assaults, just stuff over and over and over again. And then now you have a new safety plan to try to rectify, what has transpired.
We'd be happy to provide that and work closely with Sergeant Knight.
Okay. Councilman Moore, do you have, any more questions for the applicant?
No, I move for a 2-week delay.
I object. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a no recommendation to the full council, that this item goes to the full council with a no recommendation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Chair, I think it would be best if you seek an opinion from the office of the city attorney.
Mr. McDaniel. Do you need to,
Sorry, Jayla Bernard, Assistant City Attorney, the Office of City Attorney. So what's the question specifically?
Councilor Moore is requesting for a 2-week delay, and I am making a no recommendation that the item go to a full council for the council to decide.
Okay. That, again, that's a decision for the committee to make. So are you making a delay for them to come back to public safety?
Yes, I am.
Is that the question? unless you've got, you've got competing motions, it would not be, the chair or counselor can always put something on the council agenda, but we have to go through a notice process. For them, we have to give at least 10-day notice of the hearing, and I've usually used like a rule of thumb to set the hearing like 21 days out, so we have plenty of time, because it has to go to the council to set the hearing, and then the clerk has to be able to prepare the documents to give notice to them. And so by the time we do all that, to give them 10 days written notice of the hearing, that's about 21 days. That's about the rule of thumb I've used when we set the hearing. So, so that would be up to the committee if you want to go ahead and set a hearing, and we can put it on the council agenda to set the hearing. And I would probably set it, like I say, roughly 21 days out. But if, but if you want to bring it back to committee, that's the decision for the committee to make.
Okay, well, my recommendation is we set it for a hearing and let the council decide. That's my recommendation.
And I say nay to that, right? No, so.
And basically, you've got a tie vote. Normally, a motion fails on a tie vote.
So it probably would be better if we did a 2-week delay so that we would actually have all committee members here so that they could actually vote on it and we can actually move it somewhere.
I'm gonna stick to a recommendation to the full council or no recommendation.
And that's if it goes to the full council, then there would be a full hearing in front of the council. The public would be able to speak.
So is that a motion?
Yep, I make a motion that it goes to the full council, no recommendation for a public hearing.
Nay. So I think we probably gonna be here all day, right?
You gonna be here all day.
I got somebody to pick my kids up, so I'm straight.
And I got a 42-year-old, I'm straight.
All right. So again, let me see.
And that's, we've always, there've been circumstances where committee chairs have asked for things to be placed on the agenda. It can be placed on agenda to set the hearing, and the council can make the determination at that time as to whether or not to set the hearing.
Gotcha.
Or send it back to public safety.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Julie. Motion to adjourn. Yeah.
Can I seek an attorney's opinion on this as well? If we currently have not dealt with our last agenda item, are we allowed by Robert's Rules of Order to adjourn the meeting?
The committee can adjourn at any point that they want. If a meeting can be automatically adjourned when there's no more business to come before it. So, that's.
Okay, I second adjournment.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.